What is the difference between an industrial and an agrarian economy? Have you ever wondered how economies can differ so much? Today, we will look at the key differences between an industrial economy and an agrarian economy. An agrarian economy is primarily focused on agriculture and the cultivation of land. In these economies, most people engage in farming, animal husbandry, and related rural activities. Before the Industrial Revolution, about 80% of Europe's population worked in agriculture. They relied on manual labor and traditional farming methods, producing food and raw materials mainly for local use or limited trade. On the other hand, an industrial economy centers on manufacturing and mechanized production. The Industrial Revolution, which began in Europe in the late 18th century, marked a significant shift from agrarian to industrial economies. This change involved the rise of factories and urbanization, as people moved from rural areas to cities for work in industrial production. Industrial economies produce goods for both local and international markets, thanks to advancements in transportation and communication. Let's break down some key differences. First, the economic base is different. Agrarian economies depend on agriculture and natural resources, while industrial economies relying on manufacturing and mechanized production. Second, the labor force varies. In agrarian economies, most people work in farming, whereas in industrial economies, a growing number work in factories and related industries. Next, we have technology and production methods. Agrarian economies use traditional tools and manual labor, while industrial economies employ machines, steam power, and later electricity to boost productivity. Population distribution also differs. Agrarian societies are mainly rural, while industrial economies see many people migrating to urban centers for factory jobs. Social and economic structures are another area of difference. Agrarian economies often have rigid social hierarchies tied to land ownership. In contrast, industrial economies promote new social classes, including an urban working class and industrial capitalists. In European history, the Industrial Revolution closely linked to changes in agriculture, known as the Agrarian Revolution. Improvements in farming techniques created a surplus of food, which supported population growth. This shift allowed more people to leave subsistence farming and move to cities, accelerating industrial growth. Geographically, industrialization first took hold in Britain and spread unevenly across Europe. Western and Northern Europe experienced rapid industrial growth, while Southern and Eastern Europe remained largely agrarian for longer. In some eastern regions, industrialization encouraged market-oriented agriculture without fundamentally changing traditional rural social structures. In essence, the difference between an agrarian and an industrial economy lies in their primary economic activities, labor distribution, technology use, and social organization. The transition from agrarian to industrial economies was a defining feature of European history during the Industrial Revolution, reshaping society, economy, and geography.